this man being arrested for?
Lock the door.
Hey, Sam, what did they got you?
What these people pay for them. Dragging me around by my breath. In the door.
Why are you hurting that man?
Caused nerve damage. Let's swing around, son.
What is this man being arrested for, officer?
Go ahead. Go ahead. How you doing? Just leaving 19. Check your code.
Are you okay?
Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Are you okay, Sam?
Get on the chair. Let me get there. I believe she's also got a couple on top.
Sam, are you okay? He doesn't look like he's awake.
You can't lay like that.
Oh. Call an ambulance for you, Sam.
Sam, do you have any numbness in your arms? That caused nerve damage with dragging you around with your arms back.
Sam, what are they holding you for in jail now?
So we filed, they had those same 4 charges. We filed demurs against the 3 primary ones.
Right.
They immediately dropped to the disorderly conduct and the theft charge because the serial number was on the camera. What they are still asserting is that the resisting arrest charge, the judge ruled on it on its face, said the complaint was sufficient despite the 4 pages of case law, and they're actually trying to add another charge of common law criminal contempt, but I don't know how they're going to do that because I was never inside the courtroom under the judge's jurisdiction, and in New Hampshire, like most states, you have the right to be charged by statute, and criminal contempt is found nowhere in the statutes. It's made up by
Do they know who you are, Sam? Have you even told them your name?
I have not. They brought me over. There's a city ordinance that says that people arrested have to be fingerprinted and photographed. I did not refuse to do that, and the first time they offered it to me, I took them up on that, and they fingerprinted me and were able to tie my fingerprint back to a thumbprint from the Texas driver's license that I hold.
All right, Sam, I want you to stay with us because Shelley Roche, who is a regular part of the show, there she is, and who joins us now on Skype, has been receiving the tweets throughout the show. Shelley, it's always a pleasure. Welcome back to Freedom Watch.
Thank you. Good to be here again.
Any tweets for Sam? This will be a first that freedom lovers around the world can tweet directly through you to Sam while he's incarcerated on a non-existent charge. Any questions for Sam?
Many, many questions for Sam. Here's the first one from Hunter Alex. What's the attitude of the jailers? Do they know what really happened, and are any of them sympathetic to your side of the story?
Okay, a lot of people are very sympathetic, from the jailers even to the prisoners. They've come around and started asking questions about, you know, what is this whole liberty movement and what do you guys stand for? They seem to think we were either a cult or anti-government at first, and now some of them are starting to kind of understand the concepts and the reason that I'm in here voluntarily, because, you know, at any time I could just give my name, bow down to the government's demands, and they're telling me that they want to let me out of jail. They don't want to keep me here. But I know that if I do that, the writ of habeas corpus that's before the Supreme Court becomes moot at that point.
Shelley, any? That's a great question, by the way. I know you have so many. Give us another one for Sam. The technology is unbelievable that the tweets can get to you, to my producer George, to me, through Fox to Sam in jail in New Hampshire. Through Fox to Sam in jail in New Hampshire.
Yeah. Well, now, are you able to talk about the strategy your lawyer is advising you to take, and, you know, kind of tell us how you're fighting this and what you're doing to get the word out about what's happened?
Sure. So I've been appearing on a number of local radio shows in Keene, also on a nationally syndicated Free Talk Live show, talking about the details of the case as it kind of unfolds. We've been filing demurrers. We've filed 9 writs of habeas corpus in the Superior Court as well as the Supreme Court.
Let me just interrupt you, Sam. Do you have a legal team that is representing you in the court system in New Hampshire?
Well, I don't want a lawyer because, again, the lawyers, I kind of have a problem with that because they're going to go back the next week with different clients before that same judge, and if they do something that judge doesn't like, he's going to tank their cases and could literally end their career. So in New Hampshire, there's a law that says any citizen of good standing can represent somebody as their counsel, and so I have a counsel who can put the tough questions before the court, who's not afraid to challenge the judge and stand up to him and say, no, this isn't lawful or right.
Have you or those representing you commenced any actions in any other courts, like a federal court in New Hampshire, for an order by a federal judge to release you from unlawful confinement?
We have not yet. So far, everything's been limited to the District Superior and Supreme Court in New Hampshire. We talked about going federal. I kind of shied away from that. I believe a tort letter is in the process, or is in the works. My counsel also has a legal team backing her up that's kind of behind the scenes working on some of these motions and filings and so forth.
Sam Dodson, you are the incarnation of courage and patriotism and freedom. You're suffering so that a lot of good people might not have to suffer in the future. We wish you well. We want you to stay in touch with us. We'll follow the case, and we'll give it as much publicity as we can so that people can understand what has happened to you. Thanks for joining us, Sam. Good luck to you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Shelley, any questions for me?
Well, let's see. So basically what we were talking about earlier is due process and you know, kind of knowing your rights, and sometimes these rights aren't necessarily observed. Again, what advice do you have for people? You said earlier the camera is the new, you know, gun, kind of. Do you think that people should be going out and trying to capture more things on video and get the word out that way, and how can they do that safely and, you know, without getting entangled with the law?
Well, a camera is lawful even under the big government theories in any truly public place. In my opinion, even as an ex-judge, the camera is lawful in the public parts of the courthouse, like the courthouse corridor, which is where Sam was arrested, and it's certainly lawful outside the courthouse. But think of all the liberties that will be protected. Think of all the constitutional rights that will be preserved if the government knows that when it goes about its business, it's being watched by a camera. And then think of the opposite. You know, the government spies on us all the time. There are cameras in every street corner in Manhattan. There are cameras in places where we don't even know of the places. But they work for us. How can the employee spy on the employer? We should be watching the police whenever they make an arrest, whenever they use the authority that the government has given to them. We should watch prosecutors when they decide who to prosecute and who to let go. We should even watch judges as they rationalize away our liberties. That's why I say the camera is the new gun. Stay with us, Shelley. We'll get back to you.